So let's open up what we got. So we've got this validations demo. It is still running. Let's look inside of our models. Right now we've got these two distinct models. We've got our movie model and our user model. So what I want to do is set it up so that each user can have one or more movies, right? So what kind of relationship is this? One to many, right. So which one is the many? Movies, exactly. So user is the one. So what we want to do is a pretty small change we have to make inside this models file. What is it, Brian? Tom.
Yeah, I can try. Inside the model, you need to put the.
Which model though? Remember we have a couple here.
I just remember you need to put model dot one to many views or something like that.
Oh, the foreign
Foreign key,
Yeah,
right?
inside the movie class.
Okay, inside the movie class, right? Let's do that. So we'll say, what are we going to call this? Like owner or creator or something like that? What are we going to call it? Anyone? What?
What's the other? Is that the manager above it? We only have movies.
Yeah, so the manager, no, we have both. We have the movies and we also have the users down here.
So that'd be users.
Users. Remember, this is a one to many, so we have one user for for many movies.
The related name will be users.
No.
The related name will be movies.
Yeah, so let's just call this owner. Does that sound good to you guys? And then we'll say models dot, what am I saying here? Foreign key. Key. Okay, and then what do I need to pass that in? User. And then what else do we want to say? Related name. Okay, so good, Michael. Tell us what that does. But by us saying related name equals movies, what's that going to do as far as our user model goes?
You need a field. And that is a relational. Relational field populated with integer numbers. Let's say this number owner has this movie.
Right, so it's creating this relationship for us such that when we have a reference to a user, we'll be able to say user.movies.all, right, if we want to see all the movies. Okay, so that's pretty cool. What's going to happen when we try to migrate this?
Ask for that default.
Yeah, it's probably going to ask us for a default, right? And why is that?
It's happening like 8, 9.
Yeah, now this has probably been happening to some people, and that's kind of why I wanted to touch on this here. Why would this potentially throw some sort of an issue if we try to do our migration? So
There's things in the field already.
yeah, where does it want a default? Where would it want a default?
Well, anything that you add, it's going to want a default because there's already values in the database, and they can't be empty. So it needs like a default value to fill in the blank.
Yeah. So for all the movies that we already have in here, we don't have an owner, right? Okay.
Really?
Yes.
So like when you set up a table, when you use like the SQL workbench, you can tick not null. Everything comes out as not null, and you set it to not null, and then you go to you can do that.
Not null.
I mean, but you know what I mean? Like, can we do that?
Could the field be nullable?
Yeah.
Yeah, a field could be nullable.
How do we?
Yeah. So in here, if we wanted to do that, we could potentially say null equal true.
And that we wouldn't have to.
But on the other one,
Oh Jesus, yeah. What am I doing? Sorry. Yeah, null equals true.
Okay. Would that solve it like right off the bat?
I'm tempted to find out, but I also wanted to try. I just wanted to kind of like show you guys the error too if we go through make migrations.
Sorry.
So no, that's okay. But that's another possible way that if we want to say this field could have nothing in it, could be a null field, you could say null equal true. All right. So let's just try to make the migrations with what we have here. Whoops, I'm getting an error down here. Why is that? User is not defined. Well, user's in this file, right? It is here. What was the problem? Yeah, it's the ordering, right? So I need to actually bring it up. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, I went too far. Okay. There we go. All right, let's just make sure we're not getting any errors anymore. Okay, so we're good there. All right, cool. Let's try to make our migrations, right? So we'll go Python manage.py make migrations. Uh-oh. So here we go, right? So you're trying to add a non-nullable field owner without a default. We can't do that. Provide a one-off default now. Okay. Will be set on all existing rows with a null value for this column. All right. So we can either do it here inside this dialog, or I can just quit out of here and then do it inside my, my models, right? Let's do it inside the models. Okay, so I've got my my user database. You'll notice that I put myself back in here because before I had a password that was in plain text, so I deleted that, entered myself back in. I'm ID of 3 now, right? Well, we haven't even run the. Okay, so when we did make migrations, we had that error, right? I quit out of that because I was going to add a default to this field. So in here, inside here, what I want to do is I want to say the default is going to be my ID, which is 3, right? Yeah. It is. Well, no, I mean, in this case, that's what I want to do. I'm not saying that that would always be the case, but yeah, I just wanted to get us going so that we can actually like fuse these things together. Right? Plus, it'll be nice because I won't have to re-enter those movies because we already put some stuff in there. So that's kind of cool. All right, so we made our migrations. Now what do we need to do? We've got to migrate. Well, we're on the terminal now. So got to migrate to. Well, we already did that. Migrate, right?
So if you add a default, you don't have to make migration. You just migrate. It'll pick up that change already.
No, after I added the default, then I did make migration. Yeah. So here, if we look inside, let's just refresh this down here. So inside movies, we've got this new field here, which is the owner ID, right? And they're all me. Yeah, so I own all those movies. That's cool. Blockbuster. Yeah, yeah, Blockbuster with 4 whole movies. All right, Blockbuster is rocking. Okay, so what we want to do, what I'm thinking is that on our dashboard, rather than displaying all the movies in the movies table, what do we want to show? Maybe just my movies, right? Because this is my dashboard. All right. So let's make some changes in there. So let's see. In our dashboard here, let's go to our views.py. So for our dashboard, what we were doing is we were going and grabbing all the movies, right? Okay. So what we want to do instead of that, where can we get all of my movies? From me, right? I could just get the user in that way because on our dashboard we were already saying the name, right? Like hello, whatever. So we'll have access to the name and we'll have access to all my movies. So that would be pretty nice. Okay. How do I get the user? blocking people out somewhere in here? Do I have multiple things called dashboard here? How the heck did that happen? Jesus. You guys didn't catch me. Alright, so let's go down to the real dashboard. This is where things are really happening. Okay, so all I was doing was I was passing to the dashboard the user, right? So that's good. So that's all we need. So how do I loop through my movies? So rather than for movie in movies, because I'm not passing movies in directly, where are we going to get it from? Well, so yeah, I already did that here inside my views.py. So notice here on line 53, we have that individual user, right? Okay.
Because we're assuming that you're logged in, is that right?
Well, and that's the check that we have right here. Let me go back to views.py. So our check is just that if we didn't have a user ID in session, we're simply going to redirect them back to the login merge page, right? Okay. So if we get past this block of code, that means yes, we're logged in, so we're okay. We can go and grab that user's information. All right. So again, back to the template here. I'm going to go for movie in what again? No. User. Keep going. There's more to it than that, right?
Dot movies.
User.movies, we're closer. What else?
Title.
No. How do I get all of the... Yeah, all, right? All right, so we'll say user.movies.all. All right, let's go back and see if we're actually seeing our movies. So here, this was before we made the change because we're looping through movies which we didn't have any access to. Am I not run? Oh, I'm not even running the server. Sorry. That looked kind of bad. Run server, okay. Let's try that again. Cool. Now we're actually looping through our movies, right? So rather than just having everything kind of on one page, what I was thinking we could do is we could break it out into multiple pages. So maybe we'll have a page where we can create a new movie, right? And then we'll have a page where we can update movies. And then we'll just have a route where we can delete them too. So we'll have the full gamut of CRUD activity that we want. All right. No, take it. I don't even know why that was in here. Oh, okay. There you go, no problem. All right, so let's go back to our urls.py. Let's create some more URLs here. So for creating a new movie, let's do movies/new. Okay? And then we'll say views.new. We also want to have a view page for a single movie. What might we do for this guy here? What's that?
Oh.
Yeah, so if I want to see just the information on one specific movie, and I'm going to do it by ID, how do I reference that? Yeah, we have to use this regex pattern, right? Okay. So question mark P, right? And then the name of the actual thing. So we're going to call it movie ID. Okay, and then what's this pattern going to look like in regex? Does anyone remember? This backslash. What else do I have? Ah, what does this mean? So yeah, the backslash D means we have a digit, and then the plus means what? Not necessarily multiple, it means at least one. Plus means at least one digit. Okay, cool. All right, so here what we're going to do is we'll call this views. I don't know, single movie. Okay, and then we want to have another one where we can edit a movie, right? Okay, so we'll say movies/id/edit, and then we'll just do views.edit. Okay, what other kind of route did we want? We wanted to have a delete route too, right? Okay. Let's go down one more. Okay, and then we'll just do delete here. Okay, cool. What kind of errors are we getting down here? We were expecting this, right? Yeah, we don't have these actual functions that we're going to need, right? And I think maybe new is probably not a great name for that. Let's just say new movie. Okay. All right, cool. So we got to create three things right now. We have to create new movie, we've got to create edit, and then we've got to create delete, right? Okay, cool. So down here, let's say new movie. What do I want to do in here? I guess I just want to render something, right? I want to render an actual form where I can create, right? I'm not going to do the logic on here to bounce a user out if they're not authenticated. You guys know how to do that, right? If the user ID is not in session, we can very easily redirect them. Okay, cool. So we'll just render. We got to pass in the request, and then we're going to render some file here. So we'll say new movie.html. We haven't created this yet, so we should probably make it, right? So if I go in here, new movie.html. Okay, and then I've got that form for my dashboard. Let's just yank it out, right? Let's grab this whole form. And then inside new movie, let's just drop that form in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna create these other methods and just put pass in there for now so that we can at least get going here. So def edit takes in a request. I'm just gonna say pass on that, right? And then what was the other one? Delete. Okay. Oh, we need a single movie one too, right?
We also need like an update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just haven't done that yet. Okay, cool. So we're at least working again. Let's make sure that our single movie or our new movie is working properly. Okay, so let's go movies/new. Okay, so that's good.
You couldn't get into the screen unless you logged in.
No, I haven't put the protection in here, and that's why I was saying like I wasn't gonna go into that with you guys because we already did it for the dashboard route. Do you want me to review that real quick? How that worked?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of fine with the.
Like on line 47 here.
So how
So
could you-
if the user ID is not in
Oh, you just
session, then
enter
let's
in the
just.
URL, type in what the.
Oh, like how would
No, I didn't put anything in the URL. What do you mean?
I'm saying, how could the user get to that screen without you? Like, why would you need to put validation?
Yeah, if they knew that the route was /movie/new, then they could just go there directly.
That makes sense.
Okay. All right, so our new form is still working. Let's try adding. We may need to change one small thing about it though, and what was that? So inside where we were creating a new movie, where is that? So in process, right? What's the piece of logic that we need to add in here now? Because now we have this relationship between users and movies. When I create that new movie, so when I get inside here on line 21, have I given it everything it needs? Yeah, I haven't given it the actual user, right? Okay. So how are we going to get that? No, from session, right? So, so if we want to say down here, let's just say owner equals, and how am I going to get this specific user? That's the owner ID, but I want to get the actual user. How do I do that? Yes. So let's say ID equals request.session and then user ID. Okay. So then after we create this, we're still redirecting. Initially, we were redirecting to the index route. I want to redirect back to the dashboard now, because the dashboard is where I'm seeing all my movies, right? So let's change that. Dashboard. Okay, and let's try to create another movie and see if it still works the way that we're expecting it to. What movie do we want to add here? Yeah. Great one. Okay. This movie rocks. When did that come out?
1996.
Man, you know your Lion King. All right, he knows what he's talking about. All right, cool. So that's still working the way we expect it to, right? Add it, and we got back to our dashboard. Cool. Let's change our table a little bit. So instead of having the description in here, I'm going to create another column beyond this, which will just have some different actions that we can do. So we'll be able to click on it to go to the actual single movie page. We'll also be able to delete it directly, or we can go to the edit page. All right.
You can just change the title of the description.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweak our dashboard template a little bit so that we have some different things that we can do for each movie. All right, so instead of description, I'll take this out, and then we'll have like an actions column. Okay, so here for my third table data here, I'm gonna have some different things. So we'll have a link that goes to view the movie. Okay, so what would that URL be? It's just going to be movies / the ID of the movie, right? So how do I output that? Movie.id. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, and then we'll just do like a little pipe in here. What else do we want? We want to have an edit page for this movie too, right? So let's do movies. Wait, what?
That pipe, I put it in another div and it looked real bad.
There's no secret to the pipe. All right, and then that would go to the edit page, right? Oops. Okay, and then I'll just, if I want to be able to delete it, our route would be /delete, right? All right, cool. Let's refresh this page and see what this looks like. Great. So we've got all these links here, and you can see. Well, can you guys see? I know it's like super small, but we're seeing the URL is /movies and then / the ID of the movie. Same thing with our edit. We've got the number, the ID, and then. All right, I forgot a pipe here though. Let's get that pipe in there. All right, we're all piped up now. Excuse me. Jeez.
The 2 edits.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I do. All right, so let's change this to delete, right? Okay, cool. Let's do the delete method because that's probably going to be super easy, right? Let's just get that taken care of. So inside my views, I've got delete here. Okay, what else do I need to take in from delete? The movie ID, right? Because I need to know which one am I getting rid of. Okay, and then what am I going to do inside here?
Get it.
Get it. All right, how do I do that?
So
Dot get
ID equals movie ID.
ID.
And that's what you need to assign that to a variable
Do I?
to delete it.
Or can I do it in one shot?
Can you?
Just stop.
Dot delete, right? Yeah, because remember, this is going to give me back the actual movie. So I can chain the delete method onto that.
In the thing, in the platform, it like tells you to assign it to a variable first.
Fine.
No, I like this method better. I'm just saying.
All right.
We see this method because we've seen the other one.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
true.
this better.
Okay, cool. So the only other thing that we need to do inside here is what? So we've deleted this movie, presumably. No? Redirect. Very good. So let's redirect. Redirect, and let's just go back to the dashboard.
Since you can chain like that, does that
Yeah, let's
mean
return that.
movie is passing itself?
So when we do the movie.objects.get, that's giving us back the movie, right? That's a way to actually get that specific movie.
Oh, that's why.
So yeah, so we can very easily then just do dot delete because we now have the movie. Does that not make sense to anybody
Makes more sense.
than the other way?
The other way, yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, let's stick with it then, and let's see if this actually works. So if I go here, and let's say we want to get rid of.
You gotta edit it.
I know, I needed to refresh that still. So let's say we want to get rid of Shrek. All right. Who likes that big green guy? Bye-bye. All right. So delete was super easy. Like that's pretty, rudimentary to make that. All right. What else do we want to make? Maybe the view page? Sound good? This should be pretty easy too. All right. So inside our templates, we want to make single movie. HTML. Cool. We could even do something fancy, like we could put the movie's name inside the title tag, right? Fancy. All right. So how are we going to reference movie inside the template? Anyone? With the word movie, right? I mean, that's how I'm going to pass it in. I'm going to pass it in as movie. So I've seen a lot of I want to say creative variable names as I've been walking around. Variable names that don't necessarily correspond to what we're looking at or what we think that we're getting, which causes a lot of cognitive overhead. It's causing you guys to have to think more about what's going on in the template and what's going on in views.py because you're just sometimes not naming things in a simple way that represents exactly what it is, right? So in my template, I want it to be called movie. And up here, we just want this to be the movie.title, right? All right. So inside my views.py, I've got my single movie down here. What else do I need to take in besides the request? The movie ID. And where's that coming from, Tom? So let's look at it's not coming from the request object there, but it's coming from our URL, right? So here, where we're looking at a single movie, we're taking in this movie ID right there. Okay.
But in the not coming from the previous HTML page, taking it from the movie. So
Well, but again, if I knew the movie's ID, I could just type that address directly into the address bar. So if we go back here to views.py, I now have this movie ID that I can use to get this specific movie that I want to pass to my template, right? Okay, so let's go return render. I'm going to render, pass in the request, and then I'm going to pass in the template, which will be main/single movie. And then I'm also going to pass in this context dictionary. So what do I want to put inside here? Context. That's deep. All right, Jessica, what's going to go in here? Mm-hmm. So what did we call that in our template, though? Again, I've got it up right here when I was referencing movie.title. So yeah, our key just needs to be movie. Okay. So let's say movie, and then what am I going to set that equal to? Unless you need help. Do I have movie? So look inside the function. Do I have a reference to movie inside here? No. So how can I get that though? How can I get the movie that we're trying to display here? Exactly. Movie.objects. Keep going. .get, and then we'll say ID equals movie ID, which again is coming from right here. Okay, it's available to our function.
I have a question about put a dictionary in the return. How come you didn't make a context dictionary and put context into
Because I'm just going against the grain.
Okay.
Now, there's nothing wrong with creating a separate context dictionary variable and then passing that in. I don't know. It's just another variable that we have. But here I'm just creating it directly inside there. Okay. So that's pretty much all we need to do, right? We just need to pass in the movie. What if I wanted to have the user as well because I want to say his name on this page? His or her name. How can I do that again? Mark, tell me how to get the user.
was it user dot object?
Mm-hmm.
ID equals user.
No.
What was the
Where do I have the user's ID right now? Remember, we're assuming the user is logged in. I can hear it being whispered over here. Where did we save? Where did we save the user's ID when we logged in?
Oh, dang. I didn't catch that.
I can hear all the whispers. Somebody out with it. Yeah, it's coming from the session, right? Okay, so request.session and then user ID. Okay, so if I want to do something with this up here, again, I could just drop in an H2 tag. Hey, so-and-so, right? User.firstname. All right, so let's just make sure that this works so far. So if I want to view the Halloween movie, I'm getting this part up here, and then also you guys can see, or maybe not see so well, the actual title of the page is now Halloween, right? So that happened because I put the little, the double mustache up there inside the title tag. Okay, but let's put some more information in here, right? So let's just do p tag here, and we'll say title. How am I going to get the title? Kellis. So we're inside a p tag. I'm not going to stick an h1 tag inside of a p tag, but how am I going to just output the movie's title?
Probably just write the title.
Is that it? Like so if I go title, that will do it?
No, actual title of the
But okay, but I don't know the title of the movie, right? I don't want to hard code that in there because that's going to change based on what movie we're looking at. So how do I tell me exactly what to type right here? So right here where my cursor is, I'm just waiting. I want to have the actual title of the movie. How do I put that into this template? You'll see we're already substituting in some other places in the template. How are we doing that? We have some substitutions, right?
Yeah. I guess the you did
Now, don't worry about the HTML tags. We're all good in. We're
Yeah.
inside this p tag, so that's fine. But how do I actually output the movie title? Can you see where some substitutions are being made in this template so far?
Yeah.
Where? Tell me what lines.
Uh-oh. I'm not sure.
All right, little help.
So it's a movie title and then a user person?
So you see these substitutions up here?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how I can get the movie title, just like that, right?
Right.
The double mustache tag. Okay. So then we had some other info here too. We also had the description. So we'll just go description, right? Drop that down and we'll do the year. Year. Okay, let's go back to this, and here we are, right? Another long description. If I go back, I can view the other guy's scary movie. I'm tired of descriptions. Lion King, this movie rocks. Cool. So the only other thing that we don't yet have is we don't have an edit page, right? Okay, so let's make that guy. Any questions about what we've done so far, though? I want to make sure everyone's on board with yes.
How did you, I haven't gotten this part, how did you get the ID into the URL?
You mean for just in this template here? Is that what you're asking?
Because you were getting the ID shows up on the URL, right?
So in our urls.py, see where we're essentially saying this part of the URL is going to be the movie ID? That's where it's coming from. So when you do it this way inside the urls.py, then inside my views, I can reference it that exact same way. I can say, I'm taking in a movie ID. Okay? That was your question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Any other questions about what we've done so far?
So I have a question about our single movie method right there.
Okay.
Why are we putting a session value in the dictionary? Can't you access it anywhere if it's in the session?
Well, the template could access it if it needs it, right? Like I can access any property of the user, but am I outputting the user's password hash or something like that? No, we're not even outputting it. So it's not going to show up to the ultimate to the user. They're not actually going to see that.
What's up? Talking about line 94.
Yeah.
So he needs to get the user ID from session to carry that into the user, to get the object for the user dictionary key.
But I think his concern was kind of that, oh, the user object has all this extra information on it. It's got like the password,
It's like the
right?
whole
Yeah. But am I actually using any of that other information in the template? The only thing I'm substituting right now is the first name.
Can someone use jQuery or something and then pull that information and put it on the HTML?
No, let's look at the actual HTML of this page. Okay, so if I go view page source, do we see anything resembling that password hash in here?
No, but I'm saying, could you add something to the HTML and it would access that information without rebuilding the page, like using jQuery?
Like I think I see what you're saying. Sort of like a cross-site scripting thing.
Yeah. So I do not.
Well, so in this case, we're not really taking any user input to display anything on this page, right? We're only displaying things that came directly from the database. So there's no way that a user is going to be able to inject something into this page in the way that you're talking about. Yeah. Okay, any other questions about where we're at? Or does everyone? Let's have thumbs on this real quick before we move on. Okay. I see where my clarifications are going to come from. Alejandro and Kellis. Kevin, how you feeling? Oh, Jesus. That good, huh? All right. Oh, Jesus. All right. Alejandro, clarifications.
How to get there yet? That's my
Kellis?
Oh, that should be fun.
You should be fine. All right. Okay, but is there any specific part in what we've gone through so far? I mean, I know the substitutions thing kind of threw you a little bit. Is there anything else that we did that seemed problematic, troubling?
I'm not sure.
A question for you.
Mhm.
So since you were going into the HTML inspection with the developer tools, can you go into a form and change the action and reroute it to somewhere else?
Yeah.
Is that possible? Yeah.
Mhm.
Like wanted to steal somebody's information.
Well, assuming that I actually had a route for that other URL, if it just led to a dead end or something, I mean, what's that going to do? You're just going to get an error page, right? Okay.
What about if you wanted to organize them by the year? Is that easy to do, or is that kind of complicated?
If we wanted to do like an order by?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or like you click title or your actions, or maybe not actions, but you could organize them alphabetically, or you
Yeah, could we do that in the template? I actually don't know. Does anyone know? So here, because on our dashboard, right, we were just iterating through the user's movies. Could I do something where I said .all .order by? Would that even? Oh, that probably wouldn't work in the template, huh?
You can't call functions without. You can call functions without.
Right, exactly. So yeah, we wouldn't be able to do order by. We could obviously do it in the views.py and then pass that into the context dictionary directly.
So maybe it would be like a tag kind of link, and then it would redirect back to this page, but they're organized.
Well, no, what I was saying is that here in the, let me get to the dashboard real quick. Oh, here we are. Okay, so rather than just passing in the user as we're doing right now, because we wanted to say user.movies.all, right? I would add another key on this, maybe called like ordered movies or something like that, and actually do the order by here inside views.py. And then I would just iterate through those in the template. Okay. You guys want to try that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So let's just say, actually in this case, let's just save a reference to the user then, right? So we'll grab this right here. Oops. And then this will be user. And then this, so we'll say like ordered movies. Okay. And then what we want to say is user.movies.all and then .order by. Okay, so we're going to order by year, right? And then back in my template, I need to change this now, right? What does this need to be changed to? Ordered movies. Oops. There we go. All right, so now they're sorted for us by year. Okay, cool. So everyone feels good about where we are mostly, except for the folks who haven't gotten to this.
So when you order by movies, in the database itself, is it also ordered that way?
Nope. No, the database is still going to look exactly the same way. So to verify that, we'll go down here in movies. Those are they're still ordered by ID, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's not making any changes to the database. Okay, cool. So let's create our edit page where we can actually make a change to an existing movie, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the new movie form because what we're going to need is something very similar to that. Have any of you guys used format document before inside of an HTML file? Check this out. That's kind of nice, right? Did you see how I had sort of an indentation issue in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you right-click inside your document and go down to Format Document, it'll generally fix a lot of indentation issues that you have in your document. Kind of nice.
You probably don't want to do that type of
Really, what kind of issues do you get in there?
because
It messed some stuff up?
Because it doesn't know like what you want inside this thing.
Oh, right,
So it might mess up something for HTML. Since indentation matters.
right. Yeah, well, I didn't know. Have you gotten any specific issues, though, like where you tried to do it and something got messed up? Or no? Man, all right. He's bucking the trend. That's cool. All right, so let's create our edit movie page. Edit movie HTML. Drop in some boilerplate here, and then we'll have this form here. All right, so what route do we want this to go to? It's probably a route that we haven't created just yet, right? It'll be like a movies/ID/update. So let's go movies. And then how do I get the ID again? Kellis. I'm going to keep hammering this until you get it.
Alright, so ID was
So I want to output it in the template.
yeah. I feel scared before I don't know. Like one? I'm not too sure.
All right, here I'm gonna go back to single movie.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so how do we
That's
do?
right.
Okay, just like this though. Would this work if I just went like that? No, why not? We're not gonna want the title anyway, but let's say we did movie.id. Why would this not work?
I'm not sure.
Keanu.
It would, but then it would return like the page would be like 404 or something like that. I mean, it wouldn't show up anything, but like you need the double mustaches, right?
Yeah, the only way that we're going to get a substitution in this template is if we surround that movie.id with the double mustache tags. That's how I can get it to substitute. So let's do this. Okay.
Right?
What's that? Okay. All right, and then we're just going to tack on this update at the end. That's going to be our URL to update an existing movie. All right, cool. So inside here, where can I get my existing values? So I want my form to be pre-populated, right? I don't want it to just be a blank form because that would look kind of silly. Hey, I'm editing this movie and there's nothing in these boxes. How can I get the values to be inside these inputs? Who wants to help me with that? There we go. Value equals. What am I going to set that equal to?
Double mustache.
Double mustache
Movie dot title.
dot title. Whoops. Okay. So we can do the same exact thing for these other guys, right? So inside this text area, I can do movie dot description, right? Yeah, and this would actually substitute the value into that text area. All right. Okay, now we can do the same thing for year. So again, value equals, and then inside here we'll say movie, dot year. So that looks pretty good. That'll actually get our existing data into the form, which is what we want, right? Okay. Now Did we have a function for this yet? Our edit just has pass in it right now, right? So what else do I need to take in here besides the request? I need to take in the movie ID. That's going to enable me to know which movie are we trying to edit. Okay? And then inside here, I'm going to return a render, the request, and then this is going to be main edit movie, I believe we called it. And then my context dictionary here is going to look like what? Baxter, help me with my my context dictionary for editing the movie.
All right, you're gonna say, we'll certainly put the context above the factor.
We're bucking the trend. Right?
Yeah, so you're gonna say context equals, like, what's the name?
So what I'm asking is, what do we want to have inside this context dictionary? This is going to be our edit page. We're editing a single movie. So let's take a look at what we have in our template. Inside our edit movie, this is what we've got right now. So we've got this form that's going to have all the existing movie data inside of it. So what do I need to pass along to that template in order to make this thing actually work? Is that all?
The description.
Yeah, it looks like I've got a whole bunch of stuff, right? So can I just pass that in one shot?
You have to put like quotes around it and key and
So what's our key going to be? That's what I'm asking.
he's gonna be movie.
Let's just make it movie, right? It is a movie object. Okay, cool. And then what am I going to set that equal to? Do I have a movie variable in here? Not currently, right? So how can I get that specific movie? I've got a movie ID, though. That should help me. So how can I get this specific movie I'm trying to edit? Yeah. So how do we do it using the ID? What's the syntax for that? So if I go like that,
Oh, dot object.
yeah, I need to actually get that specific movie, right? Okay. ID equals what here? Movie ID. Oops. Okay. So we're good to go. So we should actually be able to at least render this page that has our edit form. And then we're almost there. Then all we need to do is be able to update the movie, right? Okay, so if I go here to edit, okay, so that looks pretty good, right? We actually have the data pre-populated here that was already in our database, so that's nice. Okay, so the only other thing that we need to do is just get our update function working so that we could then complete this form submission. All right. So let's go in here. We don't have an update function, right? So we need that. Update movie. We're going to take in the request, and again, we're going to take in the movie ID, right? Okay. So what are we going to try to do inside this update function? What's the process when we want to make a change to our database?
You need the instance of the movie,
Correct. Good. So how do I get that?
the same way you did above.
Mm-hmm.
Movie,
So say movie equals
you got all this up here,
Uh-huh. ID equals movie ID. Okay.
and then whatever attribute you want to change.
Yeah, so let's just say we're changing everything, right? Potentially we're changing the title, potentially we're changing the description. Same thing with year, right?
I don't remember how many there were.
Okay. Yeah, it was just three. It's just those three. So say movie.title equals. Now let's grab a reference to the form data, right? So I'll just say form equals what? Request.post. That way I don't have to keep saying request.post every time, right? So now I can just say form. What was that? All right.
Wow.
Okay, cool. So description equals form description. And then the year, remember we were converting this to an integer, because when it comes from the form, what type of data will it be at that point? It'll be a string, right? So we'll say movie.year equals int form at year. Okay, cool. And then what else do we have to do now that we've made these changes? We've got to save it, right? So say movie.save. Okay, and then where do we want to redirect to here? Oops. Yeah, that's fine. So how do we do that? How about if we do an F string, eh? You guys like that? All right, so let's do movies. And then all we need to do is just drop in that movie ID, right? How do I do that inside of an F string? Curlies. So I can just say movie ID. All right, does that look pretty good? URLs, do we have a update URL? Not yet, right? Let's create one. So I'll just come down here and we'll say update. Update. Am I over time or something? Like, get out of here. All right, so now we have this update method, and then our form was directing to the right place, right? Yeah. So again, our form is going to movies and then slash the ID of the movie and then slash update. So we're good, right? All right, should we try this? Try to make a change? I'm going to say something controversial. No, I'm kidding. I don't have anything against the Lion King. All right, I'm sorry. I was just kind of being mean. All right, this movie is awesome. Did I stop the? Oh, we must have had an error. Uh-oh. Didn't I just save that method though?
Update. Oh yeah.
In your URLs, it's called update, but in your views, it's called update.
Yes, it is. Very good catch, guys. All right. Exactly. That's what I was going to. I'm so glad you passed with flying colors. All right. Let's try this again. I'm just going to refresh this. Whoa. What happened here? Why was that a GET request? Maybe because we got an error on this. Okay, so let's try this again. Hey, cool. It changed like we wanted, right? So if I go back here and I want to edit some other movie, Escape Revisited, some old favorite characters showed up. Sick! All right. Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't think it was necessarily as good as I was hoping, but good enough to watch. I wouldn't say don't see it or anything like that. So,
I've never watched it.
what? Get out of here, man. No, I'm kidding. Great show, though. Better Call Saul, I think, is potentially even stronger than that, in my estimation. All right, let's have thumbs on update. Sideways. You good enough, Jim? Got it?
I run out too hard to sleep, so
The video will be posted. All right, so any final questions? We're all pretty good on this simple kind of one-to-many type situation? Okay, good. All right, that will be very helpful for your test on Friday.